Hey, everyone. Hope you're having an awesome day. Today I want to walk you through a super fast way to get readable, stylish captions and social-ready clips from long videos without spending forever in Premiere Pro. I'll show a quick Premiere trick for those who like hands-on control, but stick around because I'll also show how Vizard can take the heavy lifting off your plate, automatically generating captions, chopping viral clips, and even scheduling them so you can actually focus on making more content. All right, let's dive in. If you're the kind of person who opens Premiere and likes to tweak every keyframe, here's the manual flow I usually do so my captions look clean and synced. First, go to the text panel in Premiere and choose Create Captions from Transcript. Premiere will run through the audio and spit out a subtitle file. In the dialog, set format to subtitles and adjust the maximum characters per line. I usually set mine around 27 or so lines don't feel crowded. Switch from double line to single line if you want that crisp TikTok-style look. Hit Create and Premiere will drop the caption layers into your timeline. Now check the transcription accuracy. Auto-transcription is fast, but not perfect. Sometimes it says, "What is going on overall?" instead of, "What is going on everyone?" Stuff like that. Manually correct any weird lines, remove duplicates, and trim the length of each subtitle so they match the audio. Once the captions are tidy, select all of them and go to Graphics Titles. Upgrade Caption to Graphic. That converts captions into text templates you can style. Open the Captions and Graphics window. Select all the graphic templates and open the text properties. Pick a readable font. I like something like Alter Wizard or any bold sans. Turn off heavy shadows and add a thin stroke for contrast. For that modern social look, you can use white fill with a black stroke or black fill with a white stroke depending on your footage. Stroke thickness and padding will make or break readability on small screens, so adjust until it pops without covering your subject. If you want motion, grab the transform effect. Apply it to one title. Uncheck Use Composition Shutter Angle and set the shutter angle to 360 for motion blur. Reposition the anchor point to the center bottom of the title. Then animate scale from 0 up to 100 across a couple of keyframes for a clean pop-up. Ease those keyframes, ease in, ease out, and nudge the timing so it feels snappy. Copy that transform effect and paste it onto the rest of the titles, and boom! Animated captions across the timeline. This Premiere route works great if you like control, but it's time-consuming. You still have to transcribe, correct, style, animate, and then manually find the best parts of the long video for shorts. That's where Vizard changes the game. Here's how I actually work when I want speed plus quality. Upload your long video to Vizard and let the AI do the heavy stuff. The first thing Vizard does is analyze the whole video and find the parts that are most likely to perform. The moments that spike emotionally, get laughs, or have clear statements. Instead of scrubbing for hours, you get a stack of short clip candidates that are already trimmed to attention-grabbing lengths. While it's cutting, Vizard also auto-generates captions for each clip. These captions are timed and formatted for social, single lines, readable lengths, and you can toggle stroke/fill styles with a couple of clicks. Yes, you still should proofread quickly. No AI is flawless. But the time you save compared to doing all of this manually in Premiere is massive. Once the clips are generated, Vizard gives you a content calendar view where you can reorder clips, tweak captions, and schedule posts. Want daily drops for the next week? Just set the posting frequency. Hit Auto Schedule, and Vizard will fill your calendar with optimized posting times. No more copy-pasting exports into every social dashboard or juggling spreadsheets. A few practical tips when using Vizard. You should always proofread captions for brand-specific terms or names, as that is a quick but worthwhile fix. Use the Clip Score feature to prioritize which clips you polish first, because higher scores usually mean higher engagement potential. If you find a specific caption style you like, save it as a template so every clip looks consistent across all your platforms. Now let's be honest and compare a few options so you can pick what fits your workflow. Premiere Pro gives you unmatched control, keyframe level animation, custom fonts, and total creative freedom. But it's slow for mass content production and requires a subscription and time investment. Descript is great for transcript-based editing and has a cool overdub feature, but it can be clunky for batch cutting dozens of shorts, and you still have to handle scheduling elsewhere. Capwing and similar online editors are friendly and cheaper, but many of them either limit exports on free plans or don't offer advanced scheduling and a unified calendar. Vizard sits in the sweet spot for creators who want to scale. It automatically finds the clips worth posting, generates captions, lets you tweak visuals quickly, and then schedules everything. That means less manual labor and more consistent posting, which is the difference between sporadic uploads and building momentum. Also, if you're juggling multiple channels or a team, the content calendar keeps everyone on the same page, so nothing falls through the cracks. Some limitations to be aware of. Auto detection isn't perfect. Sometimes an AI trims a clip before the punchline lands or pulls a section that needs context. Always give a quick review. Also, if you're hyper-focused on bespoke, frame-by-frame motion design, Premiere or After Effects will still be your go-to. But for 90% of creators who need volume and quality, Vizard dramatically reduces the time from raw footage to posted content. Here is a quick workflow that I highly recommend you try out. First, upload your long-form video directly into the Vizard platform. Then, allow the system to analyze the footage and generate all of your potential short clip candidates. Next, scan through those suggested clips and tweak any captions or adjust the clip length where it seems necessary. Make sure to use the Save Caption template to keep your visual style consistent across the board. For the third step, utilize the Auto Schedule feature to clearly define how often you want new content to go live. Then, let Vizard populate your content calendar with those perfectly optimized posting slots. Finally, do one last comprehensive proofread of everything before you hit that publish button. If you want, export a few key clips to Premiere for high-level polish, animated captions, custom transitions, and use the rest directly. Why this approach matters? Social platforms reward consistency. One thoughtful, edited clip a week won't move the needle nearly as much as a steady cadence of attention-grabbing posts. But maintaining that cadence manually is exhausting. Vizard turns content production from a week-long slog into a 30 to 60-minute grind that yields a week or more of posts. And for creators on a budget, yes, some tools are free or cheaper at first, but when you factor in time spent editing, formatting captions, and posting, the effective cost of a clunky workflow is high. Vizard gives you back time. That's the real ROI. To wrap up, if you love control and want cinematic-level tweaking, use Premiere for the final polish. If you want to scale, post consistently, and spend more time creating than exporting, let Vizard handle the heavy lifting. It's not perfect, but it's fast, smart, and built to make long videos actually work for social. That's it for today. If you want a quick checklist to save, remember to proofread auto captions, keep caption lines short, use stroke for readability on mobile, and rely on the auto editing and scheduling for volume without the burnout. If you try this workflow, tell me what platform you're posting to, and I'll share a few caption templates that work especially well on TikTok and Instagram Reels. Peace out and happy editing! When you look at Premiere, think of it as your ultimate creative sandbox with infinite possibilities. However, that freedom comes at the cost of speed, especially when you need 20 clips a week. Vizard, on the other hand, is optimized for the velocity required by today's fast-paced social feeds. This allows you to maintain a high presence on platforms that demand daily engagement. Think about the energy you spend on manual exports versus the energy you could put into script writing or community engagement. That shift in focus is arguably the biggest benefit to using an AI automation tool like this. We also need to acknowledge the learning curve for advanced text animations and editing suites. It takes dedicated time to master the keyframing and effect application we just covered. Vizard abstracts away that complex technical barrier so you can focus purely on message and pacing. For the comparison tools like Transcript, the editing model is fantastic for podcast conversion. But for extracting visual short clips with integrated captions, it often requires more manual steps later on. When you finally reach the scheduling stage, that is where the time-saving compounds exponentially. Imagine never having to log into a different scheduling app for TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and Instagram Reels again. This centralized control over your publishing pipeline drastically reduces administrative overhead for any serious creator.